and welcome to my fourth video on community music practice, and today I'm going to be focusing on lyrics and chords, so creating a song in a community-based setting. So to jump straight in, I would like to say that songwriting is something in which is a great way to express how you feel in a different way than you might normally. So the idea of this video is to allow you to fill a song even when you think you have no inspiration, which is quite common, I might add. I have it nearly every single time I sit down to write a song. The first thing to remember is that every single person writes songs in different ways. There is no set way to write it. I can't cover every single way in which someone's going to write a song because there are so many different styles. Some people start with lyrics, but some other people start with music. Some musicians find it easier to start with music and then the lyrics flow afterwards, whereas people like me who, well, I play the cello, so let's just say it's not as easy to write lyrics to go with the cello. So I write my lyrics first and then my chords come afterwards. But there is no specific way to do it. It's whatever suits you best. If you're struggling for ways in which to come up with inspiration is everywhere. On the bus, in the car, outside, go for a walk, go for a stroll, go for a run, go for a swim, see your friends. You can pull inspiration from everything. Even if you yourself doesn't have the inspiration, you can get it from other people. So if you're in the mood to write, let's say, a love song or a romantic song, but your love life isn't necessarily interesting enough or not enough's going on in it, why don't you talk to a friend, see what's happening in their love life? Maybe you can get some inspiration from that. Maybe something will click in that you think, I can use this in something. I can use this in something else. And something to let your group know is that it's handy to have a piece of paper around, or as most people do now, have a mobile phone. Voice notes is a cracking thing for writing down any sort of inspiration. Voice notes or notes on your phone, so you can either write it down or record it. I prefer recording just because I forget what I'm doing. My brain is, honestly, it's horrendous. Anyway, yeah. So that's a good way to keep track. As I said, inspiration is everywhere, but if you are really struggling, there's a task in which you could let your group know about that I use quite often with people I'm working with. Basically, pick three songs in which you like the sound of, enjoy the lyrics, and would listen to a recurrence. Basically pick three songs and pick an element out of each song which you could use in your own song. I don't mean copy the song, I mean pick an element which you could use. Basically listen to behind the vocals. So maybe hone in on something like the drums. Listen to something along that line and see if there's something in that in which you could use as an influence for your song. Is it a particular rhythm which stands out to you that you like, or is it the structure of the song you like? Obviously I spoke about structure the last time, but you can use any structure which you wish, and if it is along the lines of this song, then why not take something along the lines of that? And that could build inspiration for you, and lyrics could start coming to your head as well as chords and progressions, etc. So yeah, using other songs to listen isn't copying, as I said, it really isn't. It's you're not taking chunks of melody out to put it into your own melody. You're taking inspiration from what they're writing about. It could be something as simple as listening to the chords or listening to the song and think, oh, I like that theme. Like the song could be about, I don't know, a summer's day down by the beach. And you're like, oh, I actually really like that. Maybe I should write my song about something down the beach. It's so simple to come up with these things. And inspiration, as I said, is everywhere. So yeah, that's an idea. So you're using the music to generate interest. You're not taking from it. Bear that in mind, because you cannot take from other people's music. All right, like lyrics. It's, as I said in the previous video, some people love them or some people hate them. Today's video will hopefully show you some easy ways in which you can get your head around lyric writing. The biggest obstacle tends to be knowing where to start, and that is on a blank page. Simple as that. Start on a blank page and work it from there. Let's break it down. So, exercise number 1 could be brainstorming, which I showed you last time. When you have a blank piece of paper and you start writing words on it, reflect the emotion that you're feeling and use it to convey into the song. Don't overthink it. That would be one of my main tips. Don't overthink what you're doing. Overthinking is going to cause more problems than anything. It's supposed to be a flow of energy. Don't stress about how it sounds straight away. You're just putting some lyrics down on paper. It won't sound great right away. It won't make sense necessarily, but it's something you can work with. Start something as simple as stringing some sentences together. So put down random words and then put them into a sentence. Now the sentence would be helpful if it made sense. That would be something which could be beneficial for your writing to come. And often a word can actually spark off all these other themes. For example, like the word deceitful could spark off a completely different story. Even if it's not relating to you personally, it's relating to something which creates discussion and creates a storyline, which is something you can work off. Another tip I would give that people wouldn't necessarily thank me for would probably be to use Google, actually. If you were as bad as me at one stage with songwriting and you struggled to get anything out at all, really, a great thing is thesaurus. So some things in your head, like the word, church, for example, type it into the thesaurus and see what comes up as a different word with the same meaning. And it can open your word choice within your song, which can make it a lot more interesting for listeners and for yourself. I wouldn't say to use it often, but I would say it's an alternative and it's an option to use if you are struggling to that extent. Rhyming is also a really good thing to have, and it allows your song to come together and sound good. Rhyming allows your lyrics to become catchy, memorable, but try and keep away from cliche. You don't really want to go down the same route as everyone else, but it's a good thing to have in case you're struggling, that you know that with a rhyme your structure is going to flow. Your lyrics are going to flow, your song's going to flow, which means the listener is going to flow with your song. So for example, if you are speaking about verses and choruses, so if you've got 8 bars of a verse to fill, depending on your melody, you want your structure to kind of be like a line of symmetry. So yes, your symmetry is in pairs. So it's like your tension below and your release, then your tension, then your release. What goes up must come down. So it's a flow. Your whole song flows. An example I would give to put in your song would actually be rhyming the last lyrics of each rhyme. Like I've already spoke about in pairs. So rhyme it in pairs. You could also do the same thing with a chorus. Rhyme your last 2 lyrics and it keeps everything flowing. So an idea that you could go out with just to write a song simply without stressing out would be 1. Put your lines into pairs. 2. Rhyme the last word of each line. And 3. Don't always go for the obvious rhyme. You don't want it to be cliche and you don't want someone to be guessing what you're going to say. That's boring. We do not want a boring song. It's just not something that's very appealing. Something else in which I would put into teaching or doing a songwriting session with someone would be to think about the characterization of your song before you write a single word. I think it's a really clever thing to have. So think about who is the protagonist. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about yourself? Are you talking about someone else? For example, a good one would be Taylor Swift's song, We Are Never Getting Back Together. That is about her, full stop, about her. There is no question on that at all. So she knew, as soon as she went to write that song, everything she was writing about was about her own emotions. And that's a good starting place. So if you know you're going to be speaking about someone else's emotions, you're going to have an idea of what you're going to be writing. Keep that in mind. Think about your characters. It's like a storybook. Have some fun with it. Knowing your characters eliminates several descriptive words. So knowing that your character is going through a breakup is going to get away from the words happy, joyful, excited, in love. They're all going to go in the bin. Let's put them in the bin. You're not going to use those words. If it's a character about a breakup linking to Taylor Swift, then we're going to be sticking on words of hatred, betrayal, love, heart, lust, disgust. Lust probably wasn't the best one in there. Do you know what I mean? Everything has its own kind of theme to go down, so it cuts out other alternatives. So it's good to have an idea of what you're doing before you start, so you're not wasting any time. Time can be an issue when you're in these sessions because you want to get as much done in the time you have, and you want to make the most of the time you have. You don't want to be faffing about when you could be doing other things. So yes, I would focus on brainstorming, think about your characterisation, and if you're struck, look for inspiration elsewhere, whether that be in the streets or in other people's music. I would say when you're writing a piece of music, one of the main things to keep in mind is don't forget to put passion into it. Songs are so much more appealing to listeners when you have passion. When it comes to these workshops which we're doing within community music practice, we don't really have to worry so much about what the listener thinks, because it's more about the person themselves putting their emotion into their piece of music. And hopefully having this video to help you aid with this should allow the passion to pour out of the individual who you are working with. And I really hope it does. I hope this video has been helpful. If you get any suggestions or ideas that I could include for next time for songwriting tips, please let me know. Pop it below in the comment box. Thanks again, I'll see you next time. Bye!